Ladies and gents, my name is Matt Locke and you're listening to, and perhaps watching, the Unleashing Potential podcast. It's in these episodes that I chat with a range of progressive individuals who are unleashing their potential on the world around them at work and in life. With that said, I'm glad you're here so you can join me as we take a deep dive with today's guest. So, Leanne, welcome to the Everyday Athletes podcast. It's a pleasure to have you here and to see you again.
Yeah, nice to see you too.
How have you been?
Pretty good. Just enjoying life, missing Australia.
Well, you didn't miss much of a summer here, I have to say, with all the bushfires. But right now, I'm not going to lie. You can see with the white shirt I'm wearing, the sun is shining, and it's pretty lovely as I look across Jervis Bay, which is, of course, a place you know well.
Yeah, I think we have snow on the ground outside, so I definitely miss that.
There's the difference. We're not building snowmen outside right now here. Certainly, yeah, on social, it looks like all of your training's been going really well, and you're kicking some goals at your end.
Yeah, I've had some ups and downs since I got back, but I am finally on the upper end of it. I hurt my back as soon as I got back, but then probably about 3-4 weeks ago, it started really healing up, and I'm back in full training now, so I'm pretty excited for it.
It took that long, eh? Because we're recording this at the beginning of March, and we're talking that you would have got back in middle of November, I guess.
Yeah, it was one of those, it progressively got really bad, and then I started actually kind of working with it, and now it's really good.
Yeah, well, I'm glad to hear you're on the map. That's awesome, of course. And certainly some of the weights I've seen you pushing around on social recently, your back seems to be okay.
I'm feeling strong.
Yeah, go on, you're looking strong and good for you, absolutely. So of course you were here in Jervis Bay as the winner, as the RX International Female of the Grand Slam 2019.
And one of the best accomplishments of my life.
Oh, well, I'm glad to hear that's awesome. And it was a pleasure to have you here. And it's a pleasure to see you compete in the Grand Slam as well. But what would be really great, I think, for the viewers and the listeners, is if you maybe talk us through right from the beginning how you first heard about this event that was being run from down under and how you got involved with it.
So it was really weird and kind of random. My coach got an email from you guys, and it said that if you win this Grand Slam competition, they pay your plane ticket to Australia to compete at the on-site competition there in Jervis Bay. And I was like, well, that literally is the only place in the world I have ever wanted to go. So I'm going to try this competition. I don't care what else is going on at the same time. I'm going to try this Grand Slam thing and see, if anything, how close I can stack up. And so then Grand Slam started, and I actually had like another qualifier going on simultaneously with it.
Of course you did.
But yeah, and so I was like, so one of my other coaches was like, well, you have to choose which one do you want to go all in on. You either need to go all in on Grand Slam and then let the other one kind of go to the wayside, or go all in on the other and Grand Slam just be what it is. And so I was like, well, there's a good chance I'm not going to qualify for the other one. I want to go to Australia, so I'm going all in on this one. So I started doing those, and I am the worst video person ever. There were so many of the Grand Slam workouts I had to end up redoing because I messed up the video, or I messed up the meters to feet conversion for one of the walking lunges. So anyway, finished out that qualifier. Whenever I saw the assault bike WOD for the last one, the 100 calories, I felt pretty confident on finishing strong enough to hopefully make it to come, and I got to. So I was pretty stoked about that.
Yeah, you certainly did. And I remember one of the lovely comments you made at the time. I think it was after, I think we were into week 3. And by the way, as a side comment, this year we'll have metric and imperial weights and distances for all the workouts. So otherwise we can't call ourselves an international event if we don't take care of.
I mean, I have my little unit converter, but
yeah, sure, but nonetheless, we'll try and do the heavy lifting in that regard on your behalf. But no, I love it. I think it was you. I mean, you were sitting in first place from memory when we got that most wonderful message from you, because you could see that. Yep, actually, I really have a chance of winning this thing. You were in the lead and looking strong, and Do you remember that message that you sent through to us?
I think, is it the one that I was asking, are you going to fly me home too?
Yeah, exactly
I
right.
I was convinced that, oh, well, there's no way that me, of all people, could be sitting in first place to win a trip to Australia. Like, things like that don't happen in my life. So I was like, there's got to be a catch here somewhere. And I think that was your response. No, there's no catches. We will fly you here and fly you home. And so yeah, I'm still kind of mind blown that all of it happened.
No, no, you earned it at the end of the day. You worked hard, and years of training behind you as well. I know it's fantastic. I often tell that story about that message because I guess from our perspective, of course, we know we're completely legit, but it's online, right? And you at that stage had no relationship really with the Bay Games. You didn't know the Bay Games and the Grand Slam, and so of course we sat there. And I received that message. Thought that's such a fair question because you don't know us. It could just be a massive scam, couldn't it? But it wasn't, as you know, and no, it isn't. And it was, yeah, it was great. It was great, that reaction. That's why I felt the need to go, yeah, we'll get you home again as well. It's not just a one-way ticket. P.S. Australian immigration won't let you in one way. They need
I
to
mean,
see a
whenever I
return flight.
got there, I had some user errors on my visa, but that was my own fault.
Yeah,
So,
that's they don't make life easy, I don't think. But no, so that was fantastic. And did you enjoy the workouts for the Grand
oh my
Slam?
goodness, yes, I did. Loved them. I loved every single one. Opening up with a max three position clean and then finishing off with the assault bike. I don't think I could have asked for any better online competition.
It was kind of written for you, wasn't it? In hindsight, it was, yeah,
Yeah.
those workouts spoke to you. Yeah, there was no shenanigans. We hadn't met you before.
Yeah. I definitely had a lot of fun with that one.
Yeah, no, fantastic. And then, so yeah, I guess we broke the news you'd won, and we got you on the live broadcast to let you know the great news. And then you came to Australia. How was that?
That was amazing. So like even as soon as I got there, I mean, you guys met me at the airport. On our way back, you guys were extremely like hospitable the entire time we were going to Jervis Bay. You guys made sure that I always had everything I needed. I honestly, I even called my mom. I remember calling her and talking to her while I was there and saying that I felt like a queen. Like I felt like I was being treated like a queen the entire time I was there. It literally is one of the best experiences I think I've ever had in my life.
Oh, well, that's awesome to hear. And honestly, I couldn't be more pleased to hear that that was your experience because that was the intention, of course. That's it's not just there's your plane ticket. It was like we were so happy to have you here, and I mean, you just fell in love with the area. That was clear, and you and I went for a swim off the wharf.
You
And
taught me
you've
how
just
to
got to,
dive.
yes, we had to dive. That's right. Clay and I were giving pointers. Although I have to say, in fairness, Clay was more adept at keeping his goggles on when he was diving in than I am. But anyway.
I just needed to learn how to get my head in first. So
Yeah, that's right. How do I dive in without getting my head wet? It's a neat trick. But yeah, but you certainly got involved. And yeah, I mean, you seem to enjoy the area. It's hard not to, I guess. But what was your impression of the actual area of Jervis Bay?
oh, it was so beautiful. And afterwards, I went and toured all throughout Australia, and Jervis Bay was literally my favorite place in the whole country. I mean, we went Great Barrier Reef, we went all these different places that you hear about all the time, but it's like Jervis Bay is this little well-kept secret that you don't hear about it, you don't know a lot about it, but it was the most beautiful place in the entire country that I went to.
Oh, that's yeah. Honestly, I can only agree with you. I mean, there are lots of beautiful places around Australia, but I love calling Jervis Bay home. But you know what? Shh, we shouldn't tell everyone. It is a well-kept secret. Although there was a big event over this weekend with 4,500 athletes and I don't know 8,000 spectators. So it's not that well-kept a secret. Yeah, triathlon. I have a big one.
You guys let the secret out.
Yeah, no, I know. Unfortunately, the triathletes have found out about it. But no, it's a pretty special area, and I'm glad that you felt as welcome as you did. And it's important. I mean, you were traveling alone. It was your first time to Australia, so we were obviously aware of that, and we wanted to make sure that you felt very comfortable. And you certainly brought your competing pants with you because you came. Where did you finish in the end?
I ended up getting second, which I was
Exactly right.
super surprised about too. So the entire thing was just like a pleasant surprise to me. Like I had zero expectations and I left feeling like an extreme winner.
Yeah, I mean, this is exactly right. And had you, I mean, the swim wasn't easy. Let's face it.
Yeah, this one didn't face well for me.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I wonder if you had been able to do well in event one, how that would have placed you overall in the end. But I guess that's the game, isn't it?
Yeah, I've thought about that too. I'm like, man, because I know I got stuck in that current. I know I'm not a strong swimmer. Like, yeah, even the current being aside, I'm really just not a strong swimmer anyway. But at the end of the day, like, it showed me what I need to work on. So
Yeah, sure.
I know
Yeah.
for this year.
Well, we were chatting before we started recording in a comp that we did a week ago in Canberra. When asked how we got on, I said, "Yep, it certainly exposes your weaknesses, shines a bright light on them. There's no hiding." But you've seen the workouts for the Bay Games 2020, and you may notice there's actually not so much swimming this year. It's less focus on swimming.
I did notice that.
I'm sure you did. Lots of people did, although they did notice as well it's a bit more of a run in there. But
I can handle running.
yeah, sure.
In West Virginia, we've got access to places we can run.
Well, you can't drown running, can you?
Exactly.
That's a comment I was given over the weekend. It's like, yep, I don't really like running, but I'd rather run than swim. So fair enough. No, very good. I'm glad that was your experience, and I know that you're planning to have a red hot crack at the Grand Slam 2020.
I'm shooting to.
Yeah, sure.
I'm working on some partners so that and actually in the process of this, I think I might have gotten a couple other people to sign up also. So I'm like, that's fine. You guys can sign up, but you're not allowed to beat us. So
well, it dawned on me the other day because we've got this, obviously we want the viral effect. We want everyone to get involved, and the more people, the better. But as you say, I mean, you're kind of looking around your gym, looking at some of the weapons going, well, I don't think I want them to compete because they're pretty strong. So I think we've got a fundamental flaw in our marketing approach.
Especially not knowing what the workouts are, because it's like,
exactly.
They could be pretty good if the workouts fall in their favor, but then then they're going to beat us. And so, yeah, it's kind of fun though to look around and look at it like that.
Well, here's a little secret I'll share with you, because obviously I know what the workouts are, because they are fully finished and tested. I can tell you now, there's no bike.
There's no bike?
Only thing I'll give you, there's no bike.
Oh, no.
No,
that was my strength.
I don't know if I'm helping or hindering at this point, but no, we decided it's hard, with the different brands of bikes out there now. It's really hard.
I can see that.
To say, well, this is the bike you must use, and that's really the only fair way of handling it. But it's not fair if it's not the bike you've got at your gym, or in fact, in some areas, like here on the east coast of Australia, particularly in New South Wales, there's a local brand which is not the assault bike, and they're really quite strong because they're here. And there's lots of those bikes out there, but they're not the assault bike, which is the sort of more traditional go-to for the CrossFit community. And of course, now there's the Rogue Echo bike coming out and so on, and they got very much different algorithms for the calorie and so on and so on. So anyway, there's no bike, but you're the first to hear that outside of the inner circle. So there you go. So
again, well, I feel honored.
And this will be going out in a few weeks, so you've got a head start. Not to bother training too much on the bike.
Okay, so don't ask anyone that's great at the bike.
That's right. No, exactly right. But so of course, I shared with you the other day, and by the time this goes live, it will be well publicised that we've kind of flipped and become a pairs event. Grand Slam 2020 is going to be a pairs event and will be forevermore, I would say. And I guess we decided to do that for a couple of reasons. One, because we're aligning ourselves with mental health charities around the world, and certainly a portion of every single registration will go to a mental health charity in that country. So in your case, it will go to the Walking Wounded Project in the US. If it was me here in Australia, it would go to Are You OK, and so on. So a portion of your regio goes to your charity in your country, let's say. So, and we decided that, well, given that we're focusing and wanting to support the whole mental health topic, then having an individual workout or competition where you do it solo, that wasn't the right message really. And so we felt, well, doing it in pairs, at least it's all, at the end of the day, it creates conversation, connection,
camaraderie, community at the end of the day, and that's what it's all about. And here we're doing it through competition. And when we were honest with ourselves, and we polled our entire audience, and I think you probably saw that last year, how do you like working out? Is it individually, pairs, teams of 4, teams of 6? And the clear winner was in pairs. And that made us stop and think, well, yeah, actually, we like competing in pairs. As very much everyday athletes, it's makes you more accountable, but somehow there's less pressure because you can kind of bounce off each other, but you're accountable to each other, so you go harder. It's a good excuse to train more regularly with that buddy who you're going to compete with, and therefore it's creating that connection and conversation.
Yeah.
All important. So I know that seemed to resonate with you when I told you about that.
Yeah, I love the whole reasoning behind it. I love that you guys are doing that for the charitable cause. I do. I love the whole thing. I've never actually competed in a pairs event. But so it's different for me. It's different, but it's a good different. Like, it's forcing me to even branch out and to find people to work with, and like, I don't know, that whole communication thing and like bonding thing and all of that. I love it. I love the whole thing.
Yeah, no, awesome. We did. What's been interesting, like yesterday, I told you we did a video shoot for the Grand Slam, and we had, I'm going to call them everyday athletes on camera, but they're pretty handy everyday athletes. I mean, the gym we were at CrossFit Play, which was founded originally by Khan Porter. By default, they've got a lot of pretty handy athletes there. And they were everyday athletes. They're not professionals, but nonetheless, they're pretty handy. But what was interesting was you'd say, okay, guys, we're going to do lateral burpee box jump overs. Oh, okay, but they're synchronized. Oh, yeah, no problem. And then they go to try and do them, and they'd have to stop and go, oh, hang on. So we're going to go on 3, 2, 1. And you just immediately see the need for communication. And we did synchronized double unders, which actually isn't going to be a requirement, but we thought it would look fun on camera. And it does. But even that, again, yeah, here we go. Oh, no, stop, have a conversation, think about it, have a laugh at each other. And it was just great to see immediately, as soon as you make it pairs, that it does. It gets a conversation going. It's the bond, as you said, strengthens, and yeah, having a bit of a laugh at each other in a good way. It was good to see.
Yeah.
But yeah, so looking forward to that. So, of course, the burning question, and you don't have to name them yet, but have you found the buddies you think you're going to train with?
I've got a couple of friends that I'm trying to get to do it with me. They well, I guess I would call them my coaches. They have definitely helped me in like mentally, physically, everything. So one of them is the coach at my current gym, and another one is one that just comes up and trains with us a lot. So both of them, I'm trying to get one of them, and I'm hoping this is what I was saying earlier. I'm really hoping that they don't decide to pair with each other and then leave me out, and then I still have to find someone else. That's my biggest fear right now, but I'm hoping one of them will at least join up with me, and then the other one will find someone else.
And are they male or female?
Male.
Okay, so they'd be, if they did pair up together, they'd be a different division anyway, huh?
They would, but I'm still just like, guys, don't do that. Pair up with me. One of you pair with me. The other one can go pair with another guy, and then we'll still be in different divisions.
Because they have the advantage, unlike lots of boxers around the world, they know it's real, huh? They know they can really come to Australia if they win, huh?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They're fully aware, and that's where I'm like, well, get me there, and then you guys can still get there by getting someone else with you.
Maybe you talked it up too much. Maybe you have to start going, actually, I was wrong about the trip to Australia. It was pretty crappy, actually. And
I know,
Jeremy's face is ugly, and the water's dirty, and the sun never shines.
Only it'll be like a good cop, bad cop thing. I'll only tell one of them that it's really bad, so the other one will still join with me.
Absolutely. Oh, well, that's good. So it's great to hear. Even there, we have conversations being created about trying to get a buddy or find out which mate, maybe obviously from an Australia way, where sort of grab a mate and get involved. So I'm sure you'll find someone. But you're ideally aiming for the mixed division.
Possibly. And then if they do end up pairing up, I do have another friend. Well, I haven't really talked to her about it yet, but she was very competitive with me in the Open this year to get one of the sanctional bids. So we're very fairly matched as far as athletically. So I might reach out to her and be like, hey, would you want to partner up for this Grand Slam if they end up leaving me in the dust?
Sure. Well, no problem. Well, Red Joe's Open on the 27th of March, which is probably going to be already past, but I've just time-stamped this episode, but nonetheless, it's probably already passed by the time this goes live. But for so that you know, we're basically go live in 3 weeks. And for the first couple of weeks, we're going to have an early bird package, which is going to be irresistible. So I'll tell you more about that offline maybe, but yeah, pretty exciting. So you're only a few weeks away from signing up, I'd suggest. So you need to try and pin the guys down or find someone else.
Oh, I definitely am every day.
No, very good, very good. Well, I guess we're getting a little bit short on time now for this episode. I know you're going to join us for a second episode. I'm looking forward to that. If people want to reach out to you and, I don't know, ask you questions or just connect with you in some way, what's the best way for them to do that?
I've got an Instagram, Leanne Watson 25, and then I've also got Facebook. So both of those are great ways to get a hold of me.
Yeah, fantastic. And I'll put both of those down in the show notes so that when people are, wherever they're watching or listening to this, they're able to, if they want to, they can connect with you. But Leanne, thank you so much for your time so far. And it's a pleasure to see you. And we were laughing before we started, but I don't think I've ever seen you with your hair down. You're always in training or competing mode when I see you.
Rest day.
When we first got online, I was like, oh, Leanne's got long hair. I didn't know that. Very good. Leanne, thank you so much for your time. And
yeah,
can't
thank
wait
you.
to see how things unfold for you in the Grand Slam this year.
Thanks.